Hey, this is Mark Redmond, Director of Spectrum Youth and Family Services. Welcome to the Spectrum 2020 Sleep Out. This is our 9th year in a row doing it. As you know, we're doing it virtual this year. This is going to be my bedroom tonight. I'm out on my back patio, not even a patio really, platform behind where I live in Essex. This is where I'm sleeping tonight. I'm going to shovel off the snow and do my best. So thank you for all of you doing the Sleep Out. And I'm excited we're doing this virtually. I need you to post on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever you use, what you're doing, what your whole sleep out looks like, okay? And use the hashtag Spectrum Sleep Out or hashtag StandBySpectrumYouth, all right? We're going to be showing during this live stream all the different posts, all the different what people are doing. So I can't wait to see all of you. So thanks for tuning in. The replay of this broadcast will be available on the Spectrum website and on our YouTube channel, both of those. So feel free to share that with family and friends or watch it again, whatever you want to do. We're going to keep that social media wall up for a few minutes and after we close out so you can see the different things that people are doing. If you have any questions about what's going on tonight, all right, contact us on Facebook or Twitter, or you can email Charlotte. Charlotte's organizing this whole event again, events@spectrumvt.org. Email her. Go to spectrumsleepout.org to learn more about the Sleep Out or to give now. So listen, I want to thank a few places and people. I want to thank presenting sponsor, Dealer.com, our Nourish sponsors, Stewart Construction, PC Construction, National Life, and then we have our friend sponsors, North Country Federal Credit Union, Vermont Gas, VSECU, and Seventh Generation. You know who else I want to thank? The University of Vermont Medical Center. They had for this first time ever, they had a team that was going to sleep out. Algo Bay, Teresa Alberghini de Palma, and Dr. Leffler. Unfortunately, man, with everything going on with the virus, they're not sleeping out. But I want to thank them. And they did some fundraising, and the hospital's giving, and also they're keeping us safe, right? That's the most important thing, people at that hospital. So I want to thank them. I want to thank our staff at Spectrum. Charlotte's done a great job organizing the Charlotte Steverson, Bridget Everts, Sarah Woodard, Erin Barnaby, awesome. They worked, it's a dream team. So I want to thank them, and we have a bunch of staff sleeping out tonight too. I want to thank them. And I want to thank our staff who are working with our kids. Okay, we have over 60 staff and they work tirelessly. We're going to talk a minute about the virus and how that's affecting them. Join me in the morning, 7 a.m. Okay, I'm sure I'll be up by then for coffee over Zoom. You can Zoom in, we can connect that way. We'd love to see you. We'll have our bed heads on, don't worry about that. And if you haven't received the meeting link and password, contact Charlotte. She'll send that to you. So here's what's going on at Spectrum. It's all about the coronavirus, just like it is all in America and all in Vermont right now. And we ordered all our staff, 2 weeks ago to start working remotely. And of course, the governor's order yesterday can't work in the office anyway. But we got laptops for everybody, Zoom accounts. So the majority of our staff are still able to do their work. Counseling, mentoring, helping kids find jobs, whatever it is. They're still working, so that's great. However, we have a drop-in center. We have a shelter. We have a warming shelter, a regular shelter called the Landing, and transitional housing. Those staff cannot work remotely. They have to be in there. They're at risk. We know they're at risk. I admire them so much. Not one person has called out or said, I'm too afraid to go in. If they did, we would respect that and still pay them. Anybody who's in there working directly with kids, we're giving them what we're calling hazard pay, time and a half. We had 2 kids already who've gotten sick or shown symptoms. One young man, thankfully, we sent him down to Shelburne, to Harbor Place. Champlain Housing Trust, fantastic people. They have an isolation units there, so we have that young man isolated. Another young woman who'd been working in a nursing home, who'd been living with us at Spectrum. She's been tested, was supposed to get the results any day now. She's down there too. So it's gonna get worse though before it gets better, you know? And I so admire our staff who I consider to be like the first responders. I went in the first night that we heard a young man was sick, and I met with one of our staff and I sat with her and I said, how are you? And she kept talking about this one young man who was sick and how concerned she was for him, and just the kindness and compassion she had for him. And I kept saying, how are you? How are you? All she wanted to talk about was how worried she was about this boy. finally I said, "How are you doing?" And she said, "I'm spooked. I'm spooked." But you know what? She's there. She hasn't missed work. She's going in every day, and a lot of everybody is. And it's all hands on deck. All of our staff are pitching in. So that's what's going on at Spectrum. It's a lot. Our whole country's suffering now, and so are our kids. When you're a homeless kid, this is one of the toughest spots ever. Anyway, how are we using the money that you raise? Probably a lot of it's going to go. There's going to be expenses dealing with the virus for us. There just are. We're ordering more food or more equipment. We are paying people extra. So there's going to be expenses. So we need this sleep out to succeed. And this is probably this is our 9th year in a row. It's probably the most important year we've done it. Thank all of you for doing the sleep out tonight. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you. Next up is Galen Blodgett. We started a car detailing business 3 years ago. Galen Blodgett runs that for us. He just does an incredible job with the young people there. He's going to tell you, speak to you for a few minutes. So Galen, here you go.
Hi everybody, my name's Galen. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the Detail Works General Manager and the captain of the Spectrum staff sleep out this year. And since the outbreak of coronavirus, I've been asking myself what it means to be Spectrum strong. And I've had a lot of jobs in the past, more than I can count. And I know what strength means in those environments. And it comes from within, often with wavering success and often without support from the outside. At Spectrum, it means something really different. That strength comes from ourselves, of course, but also from our coworkers and our employees and our supervisors, and of course from the amazing youth that we serve and their stories of success. And that's why I'm doing the sleep out this year, because it's about saying we're all in this together, and it's about showing the solidarity and the fortitude to get through that night, knowing that the youth we serve, they might not have just one night. It might be a lot of nights, and there might not be a warm bed and a hot meal at the end of that. It's about saying, let's come together and let's just try to make the world a little bit better. And that's what your donation means in these times. It means we're all in this together. So thank you, because that donation means that our youth are able to seek the help that they might need in that moment.
That was Galen Blodgett. Thanks, Galen, for the great work that you do. We can count on Galen to do anything at Spectrum. Love the guy. So this is an interview I did the other day with Will Town. Will oversees all of our housing residences, and he's going to talk to you for a minute about the coronavirus and what we're doing and how we're reacting to that. Tell us how many kids you have living in which houses we have and how many kids are in each right now, if you will.
Yeah. So right now we're still operating the Pearl Street residence as well as the Landing, which is our year-round shelter. Both of those houses, we have 7 beds in each that are filled. So a total of 14 residents.
Got it. Okay. And the warming shelter, we have the state asked us to close that. Am I correct?
Yeah, so as of last night, Monday night, the 23rd, we were working with the state to get all of the people accessing the warming shelter into hotel rooms so that we could close it today.
Got it. So even though the state has asked us to close intake at our regular housing on Pearl Street, they are guaranteeing that those kids will get motel vouchers. Do I have that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, good. So it's not like anybody will be out in the snow and the cold, correct?
We're doing everything, and the state is doing everything possible to make sure that that does not happen.
Great. So we have had 2 kids come down with symptoms. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so we've had 2 youth that have presented with symptoms. One was not initially tested, but advised by the UVM Medical Center to go into isolation. So we worked with Champlain Housing Trust in the state of Vermont to get that youth out to Harbor Place so that they could effectively isolate. We had a second resident from the Landing that also presented with symptoms. We sent them up to the hospital. They were tested. We are awaiting results. They too went out to Harbor Place with the help of Champlain Housing Trust and the city of Burlington so that they can isolate.
Okay, good. And how are the two kids doing? I presume somebody's checking in on them or getting them food, things like that.
Yeah, we've been in contact every day. We sent them out there with a bunch of food. I believe UVM Food Services will be dropping food off to Harbor Place moving forward, and case management is checking in with them every day. Both seem to be in pretty good spirits. And the one youth that was not initially tested just got off phone with UVM Medical Center, and they will be tested hopefully this week.
Good, that's good. And how are the other kids who are living with us, who are still in the residences? How is their mood? How's their attitude?
Yeah, everybody's positive. People are honestly just a little bored right now. We're keeping the landing open during the day, which is something that we don't normally do, just to give people the opportunity to stay inside and not spread or expose themselves to the disease. So, people are getting a little cooped up, but we're doing the best that we can to make sure people are entertained and fed and all that. And, we've got a great staff here at Spectrum that is volunteering their time to keep the shelter open during the day. So I think all things considered, we're doing pretty well.
Okay, that was Will Town, runs our housing programs. I want to thank him for filling us in on what's going on with housing and the coronavirus at Spectrum. Next is Ben. Ben is a young man who came to Spectrum, 10 years ago. I remember when he arrived, and he is now on his own. He lives in upstate New York. I'll probably tell you all about that. Very successful, and he's going to be graduating from college in a couple of months. Really happy for him. And he's an inspiring person, and I think you'll really enjoy the interview I did with him the other night. So you stayed at Spectrum how long? Was it like a year and a half, 2 years?
2 years, 2 years max.
Okay, you maxed out.
There were things that it's like when you don't know what you have until it's gone. You ever heard someone say that? And
yes,
for all the headaches that I gave Ray and all the other staff at the SRO, and I'm kind of feel bad about that, but at the same time they they taught me a lot of things that I really needed to know. A lot of life skills and and communication skills and job, and then they got me into the jobs program from there, and they taught me some job skills. When I was on my own, I didn't get to do all these fun events like go to the movies or go zip lining or go tubing or cross country skiing, things that we were doing on Wednesdays every week and getting free food every week on Wednesday,
Sure.
how many adults get to say they get to do all that kind of fun stuff, on their own? And Spectrum taught me all these life skills that I needed to know. And then you went to college, and there's a bunch of kids that just come out of their mom's house, and they were like me when I got out of my mom's house. There were things that they didn't know when they were, you got a culture that was reckless. You got a culture that liked to party a lot, and then there was just a lot of, other stuff. And then the classes, because I haven't been in college for so long. I did a little bit of CCV while I was at the SRO, but I had to quit that because Price Chopper and the rent got in the way, and then I finally got sent on to college, and it was like going to school again. It was something I didn't think would ever happen. It was a challenge both academically and socially, but it was well worth it.
Yeah, and you got your associate's degree. I was there for that, for the big celebration, right?
Exactly. Yep. And I think I'm 7 weeks away from graduating my bachelor's from the same college.
Wow, that's fantastic. Yeah. All right, so there are a lot of people who are sleeping out in the cold tonight. Do you have any message for them? Is this something worthwhile for them to do? Why should they support Spectrum? What do you want to say to them?
Well, there are, it's just raising awareness that there are a lot of people that really, really, really need help, and they have nobody. And when we do nothing, it's not going to get better. It's not going to sort itself out, It's just going to gradually get worse. It's not just being exposed to the elements and, and mental illness and things going on in your life, but it's just the stigma that comes with it, And I think people just really need to be aware that, when we do nothing, it doesn't get better. And I want people, when they do this, to know that, they are doing a good thing. They're raising awareness, and they are putting themselves in these people's shoes.
Well, listen, man, I'm proud of you. If when I finally have some kind of graduation ceremony, I'll be there like last time. Okay, that was Ben Winsenberg. Thanks, Ben, for all you're doing. Really proud of you. Next is Mike Fife. Mike runs our Compass program and Barge, Balance and Restorative Justice. He and his staff work with all young people in our county to help them. They're struggling. They're still with their families. We want to help them to stay in their families, not go into foster care, stay in school, get an education. So Mike, let's hear from Mike.
Hi, my name's Mike Fife. I am the Compass Program Manager, and we are continuing our work with a lot of our clients. We're noticing that for a lot of folks, this virus is really exacerbating a lot of the problems that they've been trying to deal with, and I think it really has brought to light the stress that folks are under in their daily life. I think for a lot of my team, we're talking about just how hard it is for our clients right now. We're checking in on them every day. And I think we're talking a lot about the stress that it puts ourselves under, the stress that it probably puts a lot of folks in our community under, and just recognizing that whatever we're feeling as folks who were doing pretty okay before this virus hit, it's even harder for folks who are struggling before it hit. So keeping that in mind right now, and keeping it in mind when this is all over, just, how hard it is to live with all that anxiety. So take care of yourselves. Thanks for all your support, and keep doing what you're doing.
That was Mike Fife. I want to thank him and his team for all the work they're doing to help young people and families here in Chittenden County. All right, next is Kristen Vogel. Kristen Vogel oversees our counseling program. We have 5 licensed mental health and addiction counselors who are doing everything through Zoom, still seeing kids and helping kids. Take it away, Kristen.
Hi, we're the counselors from Riverstone Counseling. I'm Kristen.
I'm Nira.
I'm Alex.
I'm Hannah.
I'm Dave.
And I'm Nurzada.
We are all currently in our homes doing teletherapy with our clients, doing our best to keep ourselves, our clients, and our community safe and healthy. Our clients are struggling a lot with anxiety, losing jobs, having trouble with their housing, maintaining their sobriety during this time. Any support of yours is so helpful. Thank you for your ongoing support during this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that was Kristen. I want to thank her and all of her counselors for the incredibly heroic work that they do at Spectrum. Next is a video with Christina Brown. Christina runs our drop-in center, and they provide very important services. We're renovating drop-in right now. A lot of you contributed to our capital campaign. She's in temporary quarters over in Bank Street now, and she's going to tell you what's happening with the youth there.
I'm Christina. I'm the program manager of the Spectrum Drop-In Center, just here prepping some food to go for our youth. The drop-in center is closed, but we're still able to offer food to the community members that need it. Thank you so much for your support right now. We need it now more than ever.
Okay, that was Christina Brown. Thanks, Christina. And I know you and your staff, you're like the responders. You're in there with those kids day in and day out, and appreciate the work that you do. Okay, this is an interview with Tian. Tian has done the sleep out before. She's spoken before, and she always has a really powerful and important message. I remember when she arrived at Spectrum a couple years ago, really proud of all the progress she's made in her life. She's a real hero to me.
Hi, my name is Tian, and this year is my second year participating in the Spectrum Sleep Out. In 2018, I was asked to be the youth speaker, which was the first time I was given a chance to share my story about the circumstances that brought me to Spectrum. Prior to this, I had been in and out of the hospital for a few years, usually following an attempt to take my own life. This particular event, however, was the nexus for opportunities and the beginning of a community I didn't know existed, a community of people who care, who want to learn, and are willing to listen. Spectrum inadvertently gave me the small nudge I needed to believe my voice and my words were worth sharing and listening to. My community now consists of dozens of people, from individuals to business leaders to policymakers. There are days where I stumble, and there are days where I get caught up in the what-ifs of life, but there are also days where I shine and get to experience and live in the present. It is with great confidence that I can say because of Spectrum, I strongly believe in the power of community. While my treatment is what got me out of the hospital and back into the world, my community allows me to stay in it and experience all the beauty and messiness it has to offer. So that's why I'm sleeping out this year, and I hope to see you at the 2021 Sleep Out too.
Okay, thank you very much, Tian. Always love hearing from her, and I know she'll be sleeping outside somewhere tonight in the cold, so I'm grateful to her.
Hey everyone, it's Charlotte, Events Coordinator at Spectrum. Thank you so much for sleeping out and for tuning in. We really appreciate your support. I have the amazing job of announcing our current total. We are at $219,319 and counting. So thank you, it's amazing. We're well on our way to our goal of $300,000. We couldn't do it without all of you. And for those of you who have attended the event in the past, we usually give out some prizes, which we can't quite do the same thing this year, but I do want to announce 3 winners. The team that raised the most money is the 7th generation team with just over $30,000, and I'm sure counting. Our highest fundraiser was Jay Fayette with a total of $6,400 and change and counting. And our crowdsourcer, top crowdsourcer, was Eric Hoekstra with a total of 43 donations, and I'm sure counting. So thank you all so much for participating, and I'll email you all tomorrow. Bye.
So listen, that's it. That's our program for tonight. Thank you to all of you who are sleeping out tonight. It means so much. These are really troubled, difficult times, not just for the youth at Spectrum, but for our entire country. And I truly believe that by you doing what you're doing, sleeping outside tonight and raising funds for homeless youth, that gives people hope. So I'm very grateful to you. Don't forget to tune in on Zoom at 7 a.m. I'll be there. Have a good night.